Against the Ropes podcast.
From Arizona, so.
Yes, sir. I'm from Phoenix, 602. Finiqueras, they say in Spanish.
Finiquet?
Shout out to my
First time I hear that.
Yeah.
shout out to Phoenix. But nah, man, RGBA is actually a really funny story how I got there. So, you guys know my boy B-Fly, Brini Macias. He's also from RGBA, from Arizona. It's like my little brother he's my brother I never wanted. He lives in my house, man. I love that kid, man. We grew up together boxing. But yeah, he was with Robert before me. Actually, there was a time where we were training in Los Angeles. To take it back. So 2018, I had just left Joel Diaz, and he said, hey, Brendan was out here with a coach by the name is Peter. He's trained, I don't know if you guys know who Luis Rose is from Los Angeles. Yeah, he's trained him for a long time. And he's always been involved with B since he was an amateur. So he goes, hey, I'm going to train him. He said, and B-Fly was telling him, hey, you want to come out here and train with me? So we came out here, I tried it out. We ended up going separate ways, as in, with the coach. He's still really big involved in our lives. But that route didn't, ended, and B ended up going to trying out RGBA with our friend Jose Rodriguez. His son Ruben Rodriguez is the main event of my fight night. So he got him in there. And I went back home to Phoenix and trained with my dad. I just felt like I needed to get back to where I was at, because I felt like my boxing skills were a little bit, I had like a little mislap, my professional skills, that I was going kind of downwards, this one going up. And we went back, I got back with my dad, and I started out 4-0, 3 knockouts back with my dad in Phoenix. And everything was good. He was out there, and B was fighting on, I think it was like a January show, something like that, sometime around there. And that day, we went to go see him fight. I was with a kid. His name is Sebastian. He fights. He's an amateur from our gym, F1. He's like, man, I'm a huge Mikey fan. I need to get a picture with him. And I was like, he's like, hey, can you go get me, a picture with Mikey? I was like, yeah, we'll make sure we'll get it. And B told him, he's like, hey, go up there. Mikey's up there. He's like, just go tell him that we're gonna get a picture. And then we got it. I took him with me myself, and I took a picture. Now, honestly, I'm not even lying to you. I didn't have an intent on taking a picture with Mikey that day at all. But I'm like, yeah, I like Mikey's a cool guy. But I've never met him that day. I'm not a super fan, but I've always been a big fan of Mikey. But I was like, you know what, heck yeah, I'm gonna take pictures with him. That's Mikey Garcia. Why not? And he switched it up with me, and he was like, hey, I'll take a picture of you, because he's like 12 or 13. I was like, all right, cool. I took a picture. I posted it on Instagram. I got a bunch of likes, because it's Mikey. And Jose was like, man, Mikey's gonna fight against Spence. He's like, Robert had just asked me literally like a week before, do you know any southpaws around that weight range that are long, lengthy, good body punchers, good boxers? He's like, man. And the minute I saw Fredo, he calls me Fredo, he's like, I saw that picture, and I'm like, man, he's ready to spar him. So I was like, Robert, let me give him a call. He called Robert, sent him a picture. No, not sent him a picture. Obviously sent him the picture, but he sent him like my fights. And he's like, man, that's a perfect style. He's a good body, he's a good body puncher. He has a great uppercut to the body, left uppercut straight to the body. He's really long. He's 6 foot for being 140 pounder. But he's like, man, that's a perfect style. Bring him in to come spar. And that's how it started. But I got in there, spar with Mikey. And I that day Robert wasn't there because I forgot who had a press conference. Somebody did. But Pita and Big G were there. And I remember my dad saying that when I was sparring him, I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Sparring world champion, like top, pretty much pound for pound fighter in the world. I was kind of nervous, but like my dad's like, nah, don't be nervous. Just go in there, have respect, but not really. You know what I mean? Like go in there and not try to prove a point, but at the same time, like go in there and show you want to work. Yeah. So you can get this job. It's great for your career. It's gonna help you out a lot, propel you. So I was like, man, for sure, I'm gonna go in there. And I went in there, I sparred, I did really good. And my dad said that every time he would look over at Big G and Pita, they'd be pointing, like I was working the body really good. Big G would point to like his stomach, and was like, man, he's throwing it really good. So then we got down, and that's how I went. They're like, yeah, we're gonna stay here. He's like, Robert told my dad, yeah, he got here that later on that day. He goes, yeah, he can come. He said, yeah, for sure, he'll stay in the camp house, this and that. And yeah, I did the whole camp. I was the only fighter to do the entire camp. Wow. For 6 weeks with Mikey. So I stayed through the second half when they brought in the bigger guys, so Falcao and Alexis Rocha. They brought them in, and the beginning it was me, John Bauza, and Josue Vargas. And I remember at the time I was sparring first because I was the bigger guy out of the littler guys. But then after that, I got moved over to the end, to the final sparring against when he was sparring the bigger guy. So I said the whole time, and even I was telling my dad, like, man, I really like the vibe out here. B was still out there at the time. He was getting ready to train, I believe. And I was like, man, I want to come back. I think Robert, obviously, I heard a lot of good things about Robert would say about me all the time. That he would say I was really good. He liked that kid has a lot of, heart. He got a great style. So like, man, I think it's a perfect mesh for me to come out here permanently. So I went literally in that day too, man. You know how much of a struggle it was to find Robert that day? Bro, like we pulled up because my sister was in California at the time. We were in Phoenix. My sister was in San Diego. So we were going to come out here regardless to ask Robert if we can come train with him because we wanted to ask him personally, obviously. And then with the Mikey fight, we didn't want to ask him before the fight because, it was still like tensions going up for the Mikey fight. And then actually after, we had a flight early, so we took off and we didn't get the chance to see him. So my dad was like, yeah, we need to go out there, ask him ourselves in person. And they were telling me like, no, he should be there. Once again, my biggest plug, I gotta definitely say Jose Rodriguez is the guy who got me in RGBA for sure. But he was like, no, he'll be there that day. He's like, all right, cool. So we showed up. Usually Pita goes to the weigh-ins, but he's like, no, Robert should be there. They're sparring. But that day we got there, Pita was there. We were like, damn. And I was watching not Snapchats, but Instagram stories. I was like, bro, I think Pita's there, not Robert. So I was like, damn. I was like, damn, I don't think he's gonna be there. So we showed up to the gym, and he wasn't there. Pita's like, oh no, he's over there with Eric De Leon. He's got a fight at the OC. The hangar. So like we're like, oh shoot, we're already out here, bro. Might as well. This is our one shot. We gotta go out there again. So we drove all the way out there, and I talked to Robert that day. I have a picture from Instagram. Like, yeah, like, hey, I want to join the gym. He's like, oh no, and this and that. He was like, well, I never invited you personally, right? Because you don't have a manager, nobody else that we can like interfere with, any other trainers. I don't want any problems. Like, no, man, this is my team right here. My dad, me and my dad. This is my team. So okay, sounds good. We'll get to work right away. And that's how we started, bro. Like, that's how I got into RGBA, and I've loved it ever since. I've been in the camp house for, since January. Now we're in August, so it's been about 8 months.
Damn.
And it's been a great fit. I've been out there working, learning, and pretty much just having a great time. Obviously it's boxing, so it's not fun. Like people think, we're not out here having fun. We're not having a great time. We're in training camp. But the part that I'm saying not having fun is because I'm learning and I'm getting to spar a lot of great fighters. So it's definitely a great experience for me.
Yeah, what's something that you learned from sparring Mikey?
Like you already know, I said I'm a fun guy.